I've been a die-hard Crash Bandicoot fan since I first played Twinsanity back in 2004. But not in 20 years did PlayStation's other mascot look like anything interesting. However, I finally picked up the Reignited trilogy and absolutely loved the first game. After getting the Platinum, I had about 7 hours of great, casual fun. And maybe 20 minutes of difficult gameplay. Which really was me running in circles, trying to figure out how the treetops level worked. Guess that means it's time to add some difficulty with a little challenge. Can you beat Spyro the Dragon as a pacifist? No. And that is mostly this guy's fault. To reach every hub world in Spyro, you have to take a ride with the balloonist. But first, you must
prove your worth by rescuing 10 dragons.
Which is no problem. In fact, we can save enough dragons and collect enough gems to satisfy every ride requirement. Except for this one. He wants 5 eggs to get past. And how do you get dragon eggs? By killing egg thieves. On top of that, the final boss of the game has 2 key thieves that must be killed. So just to make it to Nasty Nork, we have to kill 7 enemies. Plus, 1 more to finish him off at the end of the game. So instead, let's ask a different question. What is the maximum percentage you can get in Spyro as a pacifist? The rules are simple. We are not allowed to attack anyone as Spyro. This means we aren't allowed to damage bosses, even if it doesn't kill them. That doesn't apply to others though. We will gladly accept gems if someone accidentally runs to their death. We also won't be using any major glitches, like going out of bounds or infinite flight, just to keep things simple. And that's about it. In the first Spyro, you gain percentage by collecting gems, releasing dragons, and saving eggs. So let's see how far we get. We hop into the game and immediately start collecting dragons. We also find a Nork with a bag of gems. But the only way to get any is by hitting him, so we will be missing out on quite a few in this subworld. The first level in the game is Stonehill, which is very open and lets us get every gem off the ground. The only threat in this level are the rams, but they don't even chase you half the time, so not a big deal. I tried to trick the shepherds here, but they're not quite strong enough to kill anything. So we managed to get out with 160 gems and 4 dragons. The orcs, on the other hand, do not care. They will kill any of their friends within reach. This allows us to collect a few extra gems in Dark Hollow. Unfortunately, not all of them are within club shot, but we still fly away with 71 gems collected. Next, we can unlock Sunny Flight, which is our first flying level in the game. These levels put Spyro on a time limit to break as many objectives as possible. These can be things like chests, arches, or explosive barrels. Unfortunately, some of these involve killing enemies to complete the mission. We won't be able to break any of the barrels without killing the conductor as well. So we avoid these and any fighter pilots for the level. That comes away with another 120 gems. I decided to try Town Square next, and I finally found a use for Spyro's roll, since we can't kill these bulls. I think I used this for 1 level in my casual playthrough, but it is super useful in this challenge. Not much else happened here. Most of my time in the level was spent seeing if the bulls would fight for me. They would not. That leaves the boss Toasty to finish the world. Once again, these shepherds prove useless, and the dogs end up being smarter than me by refusing to jump to their death. After saving the dragon and collecting 27 gems, we find ourselves running in circles, because we would never lay a finger on Toasty. And with that, we have completed the Artisans world, having collected every dragon and 622 gems. More than enough to take a ride with a balloonist to the Peacekeepers. I've got a feeling Spyro will fit right in as a pacifist. Or not. These so-called Peacekeepers constantly fire cannonballs at Spyro, but we can use this to our advantage. This hub world ended up being my favorite part of the challenge, getting to lure these fools into their own demise. With some good timing, we can get almost every one of these enemies to kill each other. And let me tell you, it is quite funny watching just how oblivious they can be. The trickiest set of enemies to get are these 4 here. If one of them dies, the rest run away in fear. No worries though, we will just go die and start over ourselves. After spending 20 minutes of repeating this process, we managed to collect a gem from all 4 of them. That leaves one final enemy we can get. While this one is normally out of range, we can lure a shot by dashing the second the cannon locks onto Spyro. After all that work, we can come away with only 4 Peacekeepers remaining and 181 gems collected. We head to Dry Canyon for the first official level of the world, only to find more enemies that are invincible to each other. And I really wish these vultures would die, because this level becomes pretty difficult when you can't kill anything. I don't understand why some things have friendly fire and others don't. Otherwise though, we collect the gems like normal and head to Dr. Shim. Here, we find the most suicidal enemies in the game. No matter what Spyro does, they will either run off the cliff or into a wall and die. This so-called boss reminded me how easy Spyro normally is. There is nothing that can even hurt you here. Unfortunately, we can't hurt him either, and the chest for this level is at the end of the fight, so there's no way to reach it. We end up missing about half the gems here. Cliff Town is a straightforward level, without much going on. We get all 3 dragons and 287 gems. Ice Cavern, on the other hand, is huge. So this one took a while to make sure we got everything possible. To make matters worse, Sparks couldn't help me here. Normally, your Firefly can point to the nearest gem, but it also points to the nearest enemy since they have gems in this game. After scouring the level, we can finally head to Night Flight. Except, we've got a giant boulder blocking us. I tried going around, but that proved absolutely useless. Instead, I found 2 different ways to destroy the boulder. With a good time jump to our death, one of the Peacemakers will break it with a cannon. Or we could just sneak in here and get it done like normal. Either way, we don't have to hurt anyone and can wrap up the world. Night Flight doesn't have a single enemy, so we clear every objective and leave with the full 300 gems. That puts us up to 27% as we head towards the final hub of the challenge, the Magic Crafter's World. This hub becomes tricky when you can't kill anything. The wizards especially are super annoying, blocking the path and laughing, as if they know I can't do anything about it. And that all leads into one of the most risky chests to get as a pacifist. Having to charge full speed through the hub without hitting anyone. But we pull it off and have a nice break with our last flying level where we cash in another 3 objectives. I decide to do High Caves next and have a blast charging through the level collecting every gem along the way. Until we come to this room where we get rejected. I even try to supercharge, hoping to outrace the walls, but I can't even manage to get back in the room. So it looks like this part of the level is impossible to reach, all thanks to the wizard. Luckily, Alpine Ridge doesn't have any barriers. To be honest, it was more fun messing with the wizards than playing the actual level. Their reactions are just great. We come away with another 355 gems and every dragon collected. On to the hardest level for the challenge, Wizard Peak. This one is packed full of enemies who are all immune to friendly fire. All but this one, which we get in the most embarrassing way possible. But now we come to the true challenge of the level. A ledge, with 2 chests on it. To make this jump, you have to supercharge past the wizards and avoid this troll at the end just to try it. I did this dozens of times and could never get high enough. The game wants you to charge through the troll, but I found by taking this risky path in between the enemies, you can still make it, getting us to 303 gems. Time for the final level, Blowhard, and this one was rough. By that I mean, it took 30 seconds to beat, since we can't get past the boss at the very beginning. I think that perfectly sums up this challenge. As a pacifist, some levels are really fun trying to get everything possible, while others come down to running in circles with nothing to do. That about wraps it up. With no way of reaching the next world without killing something, we have to finish it here. So where does that leave us? After hunting down every possible dragon, gem, and suicidal enemy, you can get a whopping 39% completion in Spyro the Dragon. That all comes from 3,610 gems and 45 dragons. That's about it. If you like this video, go check out my challenge to beat Crash Bandicoot 4 with the fewest number of boxes broken. Thanks for watching.